What's up? Austin Maples here. Today we're going to draw a panther head in the traditional tattoo style. I hope you love this video. It was really fun to make, and just so you know, I picked this subject matter because of the comments left in my previous video, how to draw a skull tattoo. So if you like this video and there's something that you would like to see me draw, please comment in the comments section and let me know what you want to see. It's fun to read the last ones, and I'm excited to share this with you. All right, let's jump in and draw this panther. All right, let's jump into it. So we're going to open up a canvas here. I've got an 8.5 by 11 canvas. I like to keep it around 300 dpi for high resolution. I'm going to turn on the canvas symmetry guide and make sure that my layer has the assisted drawing on. I'm using the 6B pencil, and I'm going to start sketching out some shapes here just to get a rough shape of that panther's head. So we got some circles for the cheeks, an oval for the forehead, nice little half rectangle for the jawline, and a couple triangles for the ears. You can already kind of see that panther head shaping out here. Alright, so we're going to split that oval at the top of the head in half, kind of for a furrowed brow, and just sketch in a little area for the eyes here. We're going to come in here and sketch out where the nose and the front of the nose will be, and sketch out kind of that mouth shape as well. I like to keep it like quite angular, and there's a lot of like stylistic choices you can do here. You're going to see me sketch in kind of different options that I've learned through drawing traditional tattoos for 15 years. And, you know, some of them spoke to me and some of them didn't. So you'll see me kind of get rid of some things and add some other little tricks and tips. But feel free, you know, if you prefer something that I was adopting to this image from what I ended up with, to take that and run with it. So you can see me sketching in some whiskers, a couple of the teeth. You know, I like to keep both fangs on the top and the bottom. Try to keep like a pretty fierce look with this cat. And once you have like a nice rough outline, you know, we can go back with my standard process. Drop the opacity, make a new layer. I'm gonna grab the color red, come back in with that 6B pencil and just start getting a little more finite with the design. So a good tip here is when you're trying to draw something fierce, the pupils of the eyes, you're going to want some of the iris showing above it. When you get those pupils underneath the eyelid, it gives a little bit of a softer feel or a kinder look. So that's a good tip of mine. You can do this kind of lumpy brow, and there's a couple shapes you can pick here for the nose. I went ahead with this kind of classic one. And you're going to see me adjust some of the stuff here, make some changes. So I went ahead and did that nose kind of straight up to the brow line there. You know, some kind of singular ovals going around the pupils of the eyes. Again, here I ended up going with a little more angular snout instead of kind of like a layered, lumpy one. And come in here, draw some parallel lines, just kind of showing that lip line. This is going to be important for the shading later, to have a nice highlight of skin in between the mouth and the cheeks. These teeth, the molars, I really like this effect. I think it adds kind of like a 3D look to the mouth. For the dots on the front of the snout, I like to do a cascading from large to small. Just a little trick I learned. Not sure where, but I really like it. So yeah, you can kind of just sketch in the shape. You know, if you prefer the cheeks a little bit rounder or a little bit sharper, I went with a sharper look for this specific panther, but there's no right or wrong way. I would advise, like, again, maybe pausing and just looking at the little lumps I add here or there. I think that they add like a nice characteristic, especially that divot in the top of the forehead, and yeah, those cat eyes kind of swooping up. There's some important aspects to having a nice, fierce panther head. I went ahead and widened this design. It felt a bit tall for me, so you can just go into the motion tool up top. I kept it on freeform and just pulled it a little bit to the right. So here you can see me jumping in with the final kind of outline. This is what, for me, I would use as a stencil. I used the hard airbrush and continued with that symmetry tool. Dropped the opacity on the red, makes it a little bit easier to see. Just kind of come in and finalize the feel that I'm looking for. You can see here I opted to have a singular lower lip instead of that parallel line all the way down. Again, just a stylistic choice. You could go ahead and use that previous one I had. I've done that plenty with tattoos. I like both versions. Just something felt right about changing it a little bit. You'll notice I change a couple of the shapes. This is my third layer here, so I like to kind of come in and anything that just didn't feel right, add a little bit of length here or there, change the angle or the sharpness of something. This is kind of that final important layer to feel like I have the perfect drawing. It's got this furrowed brow, that kind of cat eye in the corners, and the teeth are really important too. You can see here I ended up starting with that center line in between the two kind of buck teeth, just to make sure that I got a nice even spacing between each tooth. I do a nice dip in the molars up at the top. Kind of creates like a 3D look. You're looking at the side of the tooth and the top of the tooth at the same time. And of course you got the tongue. Then I do something interesting with the whiskers here. Also a personal preference, but leaving this kind of hollow center, when you go to tattoo the design or even paint it, you're going to really see those whiskers standing in front of the cheeks because the black can go behind it and really set them forward. This is something that I really enjoy and do in most of my Panthers for the last 8 to 10 years. But also, it depends on the size of the tattoo. If you're going to tattoo this, sometimes it's really unnecessary or kind of impossible with a thicker line to do both of those. So, I would imagine this tattoo being maybe 5 to 6 inches tall. That would leave enough room or the right size to be able to do the whiskers this way. So I'm just having a little bit of fun here and gonna color this panther, make it look like kind of a finished flash design. And this was fun for me. I haven't tattooed in color for the last 5 years maybe. And it was fun to kind of, flex that muscle of color creating. It's just something I haven't done in a while. So I had a good time here. Kind of tried to pick some muted tones. And yeah, I remember how I would do something like this in the past. And I think it turned out pretty cool. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. And while I'm coloring this in, I'm just going to talk a little bit about how I learned some of these tricks. And when I say style choices, really what does that mean? There's traditional tattoos, or traditional tattooing has kind of this parameter of the 40s and 50s that, you see Burt Graham, Sailor Jerry, all of these kind of predecessors that set the stage for us. So when I was learning how to tattoo, I would trace a lot of their drawings and flash and try to paint them and recreate them exactly how they drew them. And through doing that, I learned all these little tricks and tips and all these little nuances that they would do to create these images that I really liked. And sometimes until I was tracing them, I didn't really know, that the little divot in the top of the head, or, I didn't get the molar thing from them, but that was from, something else, maybe graphic design of a panther head that I had traced, or maybe from a real image of a panther head. But going and finding things that you really like in the world that might not be perfect or exactly the way you want them, and trying to recreate them before you create your own will really help kind of coin a style for you, or be able to bring in a lot of these tricks. I heard a good saying one time, you can't break the rules. No, that's not how it went. Until you know the rules, you can't break them. And so, yeah, for me, that really rings true. I feel like I'm able to grab a lot of things subconsciously now. I don't remember where I've learned a lot of them or where I found a lot of them, but really finding that reference that you like, or something that you think you could add something to, and creating those new images using those old ones really kind of led me to the point where I'm able to create this Panther without looking at any reference. But I know that somewhere along my journey, I learned something from someone, probably from tracing or painting or buying flash or getting tattooed, and those tricks really benefit me now in my career. Spending that time kind of learning why I like something or why it sticks out to me. And even when I come in here with the shading and the color, these are some things that I've just kind of figured out that I like over time. I like a lot of black, a lot of dense contrast. So creating a design that leaves room for that. It's really important to me to kind of lay out these parallel lines like the whiskers and the lips, where I can put solid black right next to it, and get that kind of powerful contrast and oomph that I really love, and still have a really legible image. So you'll see here, like as I colored in, how particularly placed a lot of these things are. You look at the furrowed brow, the edges of the ears, having that black shaded right behind the ear on the inside of the earlobe is really important to me, and leaving that highlight above it lets you delineate kind of each panel of the Panther's head to be its own space and still be really legible, but have a ton of black in it, which for me is a lot more fun to tattoo. I think it has a lot more longevity on the skin, and even if you're just doing this for graphic design or a painting, it's going to hold a lot of power to it, and really just be a really powerful design. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with these colors. I picked a muted kind of peach and this kind of bright orangey red color and this ochreish yellow, and just kind of went through, was looking for like a Payne's gray color. I kind of didn't find the perfect one, but it worked for this flash design. Yeah, I shaded this whole thing with that 6B pencil, just kind of tilt it, at a 45-degree angle and get a nice like shaded side to it. And you can create something pretty cool with this Procreate tool. It's really great for tattoo studies or t-shirt designs. It's made drawing really fun for me, and made it really easy to pick something up and kind of spit an idea out and come back to it whenever I want without having to go find my tracing paper. I definitely don't discredit how valuable analog drawing is. I draw on people's skin a lot now, but I really find that this iPad, for me, really encourages me to draw more often and to make changes that I might not make on paper, because it's just so easy to erase and kind of make your end product exactly what you want to, or come back to it and explore some different options, or change the green in the eye, whatever it is. But yeah, I really enjoy the tool, and I hope if you're watching this and you're drawing on on some pen and paper or whatever, I would advise, giving it a go. I think it's really fun, and definitely pushed me to draw more and draw better, and it's a really valuable tool. But if you like this video, please go subscribe or push like, comment down below maybe what you'd like to see me draw in the future. I'm having fun making these, and I hope they're helpful and fun for you. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to the next time.